messages coming up again. Okay. I'm not sure if I can read that whole thing and keep moving. Oh, we have a lot of light in. Let's get some of this. Is there too much light? I don't know. A lot of sunshine going on today. Too much sunshine has never been a bad thing. Praise and power. Welcome to a moment of harmony. We are having a Sunday moment. Y'all know I'm always excited about a Sunday moment. I just always feel like Sundays have such a vibe of rebirth, renewal, rejuvenation, peace, sanctuary, and groundedness to them, a time of family and togetherness. So, for those that took a moment out to have a moment, I'm super duper grateful to you because I know that your day is full of recouping and getting yourself all prepared for the rest of the week and really centering yourself. And thank you for allowing me to be a part of that centering. I'm always honored to be a part of your self care routine. And again, family time, spiritual, religious gatherings or get togethers or traditions normally are part of a day like Sunday. And I'm just saying thank you. Thank you for an hour of power with your girl on days such as this. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are having a Sunday moment. Hey, if you live in, I don't even want to say the DMV area because I feel like it's just hot, hot. Summer came in popping. I think the summer solstice was Friday. It was like Thursday or Friday. I think it was Friday. Summer solstice came in, and okay, summer was not playing. Kick the door down. I'm here just in case you thought I was playing with you. I'm not. It's hot. It's 100. Got up to like 103 degrees yesterday. Same similar situation is gonna happen today. I am gonna say if you live in Baltimore, the DMV area, because that's what I know for sure. But I'm pretty sure it is hot, all on this side of things. You know what I'm saying? All in the summer season that's happening in America at least. So I'm saying it's hot. And take care of yourself. Be careful. Let's be smart, especially those of us that are not in our teens or early 20s anymore. Don't go out there acting like it. And we do that from time to time. Just be smart, be safe, and I'm so happy to see you. I am going to try to reposition this. I'm sorry, y'all. I have my legs all folded up and I got to unfold them around. All the stuff under my desk. Hold on. Let's try that. There we go. Why did I find a good spot in this? Let's get into this moment, y'all. Today is being a moment. We are in a series of meiotic moments. We are at our fourth week. We are 4 weeks into meiotic moments, so that's already a month of meiotic moments. Isn't it crazy how the time has been like, I've been spending a lot of time on time, a lot of thoughts and energy on time because, oh my gosh, okay. My second oldest, shout out to Wisdom, happy birthday. He turned 18 during this week on Tuesday, and to have two adults on my hand or something like it is something else. It definitely has been taking me down nostalgia roads of nostalgia. It's been taking me just been emotional. I've been going through it. So happy birthday to him. My homeboy Tyjon turned, I don't know, I keep on going back and forth. I want to say 12 or 13, but Tyjon had a birthday. I can remember him as a baby holding his bottle to be 12 or 13. So happy birthday to Tyjon. Let me see, what else were there other birthdays I had coworker Matt. Happy birthday to Matt. Next week we have birthdays pouring out. Happy birthday to Akili on next Wednesday. I know that we've moved out of Gemini into Cancer season. So look, just happy birthday. Happy birthday to all my viewers, to all my loved ones, my friends and family members that I am close to. That are all here for it. I love you, and I celebrate a life. I love to celebrate life. So, happy birthday. We are in meiotic moments. Last week, we did, what did we do last week? We did I Have Not Stolen. That was the one we did last week. We did I Have Not Stolen. This week, we are in I Have Not Slain Man or Woman. We are in, what is it? We are in, so first off, we're in meiotic moments. We got in meiotic moments because we finished up our reflection series. We were looking back at it. We came into meiotic moments using the 42 laws of Ma'at. So I've been very specific and intentional about us understanding that whatever walk of life that you are in, whatever spiritual practice you subscribe to, whatever beliefs you have about life and righteousness, I am coming from my own very cultural perspective, using the 42 laws of Mayat in order for us to correct ourselves and our characters and to really focus on character being a component of health and betterment. Character being a component to health and development, right? A lot of time that part is left out of it, but I want you to know, as again, as we've been going through the 42 laws of Mayat, we are only as good as we are. We're only as good as we are. So for those of us that want well lives, those of us that want well experiences, well existences, well connections, well bodies, we have to be well. You have to be well. And the external will fall in line with where your heart and your mind is. Always know that my external will fall in line with my heart and my mind. My external will fall in line with my heart and my mind. So we are really putting some emphasis on character and character development when it comes to the myotic moments, when it comes to healing and being better. And many of us want to say, I want to be a better person. I want a better life. Again, I want better experiences. But we go straight into what we should be eating or drinking or watching or reading, and not always do we include what we should be being, how we should be being. And that is also very much, it doesn't matter if you ate clean if your mind and your words were mean. I'm trying to tell you, it just doesn't matter. We're talking about holistic beingness, holistic happiness, holistic divinity. So let's get into it. I have not slain man or woman. I love it. I was so excited to listen. Y'all gonna hear me excited about every myotic moment because, like I expressed in the beginning of starting myotic moments, at the journey, the embarkment of this journey into a moment of harmony as a series, as a streaming, as a live streaming, I wanted to do myotic moments from the beginning, but I felt like myotic moments took experience. It took, if you will, a ministry, a gospel, if you will. You cannot just go into, come out talking about being more meiotic or having meiotic moments or expressing the balances of life, the righteousness of being. You just can't. You know what I'm saying? I was like, we're gonna work up, we're gonna learn up, we're gonna get up there, we're gonna graduate to that level. So every meiotic moment that we're gonna have for 42 weeks, and now we're in the fourth week, every meiotic moments or our your next 30 some odd moments are going to be me always just being like, let's get into it. Let's get into it. Are we ready to get into it? Let's get into it. Okay. I have not slain man or woman. Great. Great, great, great. Listen, first off, our ancestors, geniuses. Whew, geniuses. Understatement of the year. Geniuses. I am so blessed and I am so excited to break this down because I know that many of us read these laws, we read ammunitions, we go into these things thinking like, you shouldn't kill. The commandments, thou shalt not kill. And we just are so cut and dry, and it's just like, well, I don't kill. Or we vary out killing a bug as opposed to killing a person. Please stay with me today. That's all I'm asking. I'm saying all of that to say, stay with your girl because I want you to know that the laws set forth before us. As we Sankofa and go back and get, as we journey to a knowledge of knowing thyself, my two favorite lessons left for us. I want you to see that it's for you. It is for you. Yes, I'm talking to you. I'm talking to me. I'm talking to us. Okay? Here we go. I have not slain man or woman. Let's get started. The first thing is I have not slain. I want to focus on the word slain, because sometimes in understanding things, there's a great emphasis on what is being said. As a literature buff myself, as academia buff, when I'm reading instructions or prompts or things that need to be taken care of, what is being asked of me? What is being presented? What is being said? What is the point? Another major point to understanding and assessing material and information is what is not being said. What is being said by not being said, right? By not being mentioned, what is the meaning? I was very intrigued on this word slain. It said, I have not slain man or woman. Why not kill? Why not murdered? Or, well, not gonna say those words. Why not kill? Let's say that one. Kill. I have not killed a man or a woman. I have not caused the death of a man or a woman. It says, I have not slain, which very specifically is a murder, to murder something in a violent way, or to kill something, I'm sorry, to kill something in a violent way. This is very much like, I have not stolen food. What was the one we said? A robbery with violence. I'm sorry, robbery with violence. That's compounded. That's very specific. I have not killed in a violent way. And that to me is again unnecessary force, insult to injury, those types of things, right? Going above and doing what's not necessary to cause harm or pain, suffering, or death, destruction to someone or something. I have not slain man or woman. So using the word slain it stood out to me very much. Again, it didn't say I did not cause manslaughter. It didn't say I didn't revenge, hurt someone else. I didn't do eye for eye, or I didn't accidentally take someone's life. It says I have not slain. I have not killed in a violent way. And we express violence as forceful, aggressive, negative, evil, intentional. So it is saying, I have not killed a man or a woman intentionally, aggressively, with bad and negative intention. Slain. I have not slain man or woman. Again, it could just say don't kill, right? I haven't killed anyone. I haven't killed a man or a woman. It says I have not slain. That is going to be so important to where we're going in this journey. And so that's why I'm putting an emphasis on there. So definitely stay with me with it. I have not slain man or woman. I have not killed anyone in a violent way. The next part of this law is I have not slain, and then man or woman. So I haven't killed a man or a woman. And I thought that was very specific. Why not just say I haven't killed anyone? I haven't killed anything. But it does not say this. This law specifically says I have not slain, which is different from killing or causing death exclusively, and man or woman. It doesn't even say, and it had me thinking, why doesn't it say having anyone would include a child? It doesn't say I haven't killed a child. It says I haven't killed a man, I've not slain a man or a woman. And I said, wow, you know what? This is very specific for a very specific reason. And the reasoning behind this intentionality, that again is my perspective from my education, from my studies, from my sources, from my development. I'm not saying that you can't get any information about Mayat or Mayatic principles or ways of life from anyone else. By all means, seek and explore, find and obtain. I am saying on my journey as an advocate, as a student, as a philosopher, as now a educator and healer myself, I am saying this is where it's coming from. So why man, why woman? Okay. And not just child. This is where it's coming from. I believe that in this law, we're talking about, when we say I have not killed, we're talking about destroying, being destructive, eliminating, annihilating, breaking down man or woman. And when they say man or woman, and not everyone, right? I didn't say I won't kill anyone, and they don't specifically say a child, is because I think we're talking about, I've arrived at the conclusion, I'm expressing in this moment that we're talking about manhood and womanhood, masculinity and femininity. And this is why I think it is specifically expressed in this way in this law. I have not slain man or woman. And child is not necessarily included in this everyone bunch that could be iterated. We come from very intelligent, very intentional people. And the fact that that was not specifically stated draws me to the conclusion. I have not slain. I have not destroyed femininity. I have not destroyed masculinity. I have not killed or disabled manhood and womanhood. And the reason that it's not says everyone, which would include the scope of children, is because manhood and womanhood or womanhood is murdered in childhood. Okay? I know that was a lot. ADJ, run that back. Manhood and womanhood are stunted, retarded, disformed in childhood. So this law specifically say, I have not slain, killed in a violent way, egregiously and excessively destroyed, done away with, disabled. What is it when extremities are cut off, or fingers, or dismembered, right? I have not in any excessive and intentional and egregious way stunted manhood and womanhood, annihilated, destroyed it, right? So we're going to go there with this moment. And this is where I'm going to take this whole journey with you too. So sit tight. We're going to get all up into it. Okay. I have not slain man or woman. From the premises of the disclaimer that I just gave you, I have not, again, why man, why woman, childhood. I have not distorted and I have not destroyed masculine energy, feminine energy. Okay. Now, there's a lot of talk today about femininity and masculinity. I want to say I'm not even necessarily today talking about our roles operationally per se, like in the life day to day. I am talking about our divine innateness. That is where I'm coming from today. Our divine innateness. When I'm talking about masculine energy and feminine energy. So I know that everyone says, like, what do we talk about a lot? How masculinity and femininity are energies, how we are made up of both. We do know that. How we're made up, good morning, blessings, how we are made up of masculine components and feminine components, and we possess them. But how we actually came into being, the role that we are divinely sent here to play, greatly is intended as far as our powers and our function on the dominant energy we possess. Femininity, masculinity. Okay. I have not slain man or woman. I have not destroyed the intention of feminine energy. I have not destroyed the intention of masculine energy in the lives of people, in the lives of children. Okay. When it comes to, I want us to think about feminine and masculine energy in this way, for this purpose. I want us to think about, when it comes to feminine energy, We're talking about when it comes to feminine energy, we're talking about a nurturer. We're talking about women are nurturers. The entire time that a human being is in a gestational state of growing and developing, the nurturer primarily is the woman. She is primarily responsible for what is being fed emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually to this unborn child. She is primarily responsible for the health and the well-being of this person by what she partakes in. Her mindset, her state of beingness really nurtures and grows this into a healthy and developed person. She creates an environment for this person to grow to its fullest potential and come into life healthy and ready. She is a nurturer. When I'm talking about feminine energy, I'm talking about the energy of life giving. The energy of life giving. Anytime you hear me refer to femininity today, I am talking about the energy, the ability, the blessing, the endowment of giving life. When you hear me talk about masculinity today, you are talking about this person that procures and secures the environment that has been created for development. This person protects and secures that environment, provides and instills structure and order in this environment. Divine, okay? We're talking about the protector and the provider of what is being nurtured and developed. So I want us, whenever I mention masculine energy, for us to look at the masculine energy as a life maker. Life maker. Femininity, life giver. Masculinity, life maker. She gives the life, he makes the life. He protects the life. He develops with the life in structure and order. Okay. I had to get very specific with that because I know in today's time we have so many definitions, so many mindsets, so many theories. I want everyone to just be mindful that I am coming from the place of ancient Kemet. First word being ancient, second word being Kemetic. I am coming from a specific cultural standpoint on this law. Talking about this law. I'm not going up into your business. I'm not inviting you up into mine. I am talking about a characteristic cleanse, a way of behaving and understanding, a way that we can move in order to move forward. So, feminine energy, life giver, masculine energy, life maker. When we come into this saying, I have not slain man or woman. And then we have the understanding that I presented that manhood and womanhood are murdered in childhood. We have to go back into childhood. So I can't say this saying. Remember we talked about our laws being things that we promise in the beginning or profess in the beginning and we affirm at the end of the day. I will not slay man or woman. I have not slain man or woman. Beginning of the day, end of the day. Talking about the intricacy of it, talking about the intentionality of it, talking about the work of it. Because it must be, in order for it to be a law, it must be a possible thing, it must be a problematic thing, it must be something worthy of teaching of how not to do. So it must be an easy thing to kill the spirit of manhood. It must be an easy thing to kill the spirit of womanhood. I see craziness all the time of men versus women and just arguments on roles. And my thing is, when have we lost our center? India, Irie, come back to the center. Come back to the core of your existence. And at the core, you are equally created, equally yoked, necessary for one another. There cannot be an environment that can be nurtured and created if no one's going to protect or sustain it. Why? It's going to be destroyed. And then you cannot protect and sustain something that has not yet been created. You will be idle. You will be, listless, restless. No, right? Equally needed, equally valued, equally created in my eyes. Balance. All right. If manhood and womanhood are killed in childhood, this is where this law is taking us to be absolutely cognizant of where we have gotten lost in our femininity, where we have gotten lost in our masculinity, where in this life the healing needs to start, the regrouping and the reconsidering needs to travel to. So, when it says, when I'm saying that manhood and womanhood are murdered in childhood, I want us to start with these roles, right? With these energies. As a nurturer. Okay, so first off, let me say this. Often people have described me as feminine. It's always a compliment. I am highly appreciative, cognizant, in love with, and blessed. And I feel extremely blessed, let's say proud, to be endowed with divine feminine energy. I understand that it is my function, it is my superpower, it is a great part of my mission, it is who I am. I embrace it and I love it. And I will only actualize all I am able to have by embracing it. So, and fighting for it in this society. So often people have described me as feminine. Shout out to Z, shout out to Amoru, shout out to those people who have consistently, I hear it in my head all the time because of individuals like yourself that are always just like, you're so feminine, you're so feminine. And in the beginning, I used to think they were saying I was feminine because, like girly, as a synonym to girly. And because, your girl is a little prissy. I'm definitely a little prissy. But then I have these sisters and these daughters now that are super divas. And I'm just like, so when I get described as feminine, I begin to have to make sense of that in my mind on why is that addressed to me so often? Because I am a lady, but I got these divas around me, right? Hair done, nails done, everything did. And that's just not me. So I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know why. And then it came to me over time after it being expressed whenever we're affirming each other as a community or family. And it's being assigned to me as an adjective, as an attribute, as a characteristic all the time. I'm just kind of like, what does that mean? And they're talking about the energy, right? They're talking about when it says femininity, meaning being a lover, being a nurturer, being a healer, being a reformer, putting things back together, giving things life, giving things, brightening things up. And that's what everyone was meaning to a degree about this feminine. It's the energy. It's the energy. It's the simple things. Okay. Y'all know I always get up in here and a song gets to my heart and I shouldn't be singing. Okay. But it's the energy of femininity that they're talking about. And when I am getting into this moment today, it is also what I am talking about. I'm talking about the energy of giving and nurturing life, growing things. Anywhere you are, life is reinvigorated, the rebirth, right? There's nothing I do with anyone that I just do with anyone. If I come in contact with you, I have the mission and the ability and the joy, a joy-filled heart, with rebirthing the moment, with rebirthing the circumstance, with growing and elevating, with pushing you and bringing you into another version of yourself, a loved version, a comforted version, a protected version of yourself. And that becomes a great part of of my exchange. And that is a great part of the feminine exchange. I love sisterhood. I love being around women. I love spending time with women. I always feel nurtured. I always feel loved. I always feel rejuvenated, incubated, and then rebirth whenever I leave the presence of a genuine, beautiful sister, woman, right? Okay, feminine energy, masculine energy. Now, I have not necessarily been called masculine, but I have been around masculine energy where it is predominantly, again, because we all possess masculine and feminine traits, characteristics, but I'm talking about the primary masculine. Whenever I've been around a primary masculine, it's very, very obvious that I am in the presence of a primary masculine. Excuse me, I'm very assured of my safety. I am very, very assured of being protected, being valuable, being safe. Again, I cannot ever express that enough. But also being provided. I won't have needs. I won't go without. I won't be transgressed upon, and I will always have this armor of greatness that ensures that I can continue to be my very own greatness. This greatness that without it, I would not be able to be. Right? I can't sit here in the glory of my nurturing, in my optimism, in my hope, in my seeing light in a life, through the lens I see life through. I always say this. This is one of the things I always say. As a healer, I always talk about this. As a healer, I need a certain type of man, mate. Not just any mate will do, right? Because I have a very feminine mission. I'll say that. I have a mission of healing and educating and nurturing that must be done. I must operate within a certain version of myself in order to actualize my purpose here in this realm. Therefore, he must be so much masculinity because of the amount of femininity I must exude. He must be protective. He must be discerning. He must be providing because I'm giving. I'm giving and I'm giving and I'm giving. And I'm knowing and I'm knowing and I'm knowing. And I'm feeling and I'm feeling and I'm feeling. And therefore, he must be doing and protecting and providing and keeping and sustaining. You know what I'm saying? It must go hand in hand in this way. So I'm always saying that he can't be any guy. Because I see the world in a very magical way. I get into a lot of trouble for this. I am listen, I get into a lot of trouble for this by my friends, by my family, loved ones. They're all like, you're too nice, you think too much, you think, I'm an idealist. And I get into a lot of trouble for being an idealist. However, and I get crushed. I get my heart broke. I get a lot of things going on because I'm an idealist. However, I believe that it is strongly and greatly a part of the mission of my life. The reason why the Creator has endowed me with an ability to see and think things a certain way. So in order for me to keep a lens of magic, so whenever I meet someone that's like, you have to stop thinking like that. That type of thinking is going to get you in trouble. That type of thinking is bad for you. Stop thinking like that. Red flag for me. Back when I was younger, I would be like, maybe I should get a little bit, more cynical or more, trust me, I'm not saying I'm out here willy-nilly. Your girl got discernment. She's been through a thing or two. But what I'm saying is, I am always intrigued or looking for the man that doesn't say, stop thinking that way, but the man that does say, I'm going to protect the way you think. Masculine. So I know as a divine feminine, it is the masculine energy. So that energy of the man that says, in order for me to see through a magical lens, in order for me to see what can be, what should be, and in order for me to work towards that direction, you have to be able to protect that lens. Not change it, not distort it, not criticize it, not judge it. But what is it that I can do so that she thinks the way she thinks safely? So that she can create the way she was supposed to create safely, and I can be secure with making sure that this is okay. And vice versa. I'm not saying this is all about what he can do for me. This is a whole nother conversation. Vice versa. Your girl is balanced, trust. But what I am saying is that there is a masculinity or a masculine role to your mission, and there is a feminine role to your mission that operates from your primary position of beingness. And in that, you must be in an environment that facilitates and fosters and nurtures that side of you. Which brings us back to our law of I have not slain. So if there is an environment that can protect it, that can direct it, that can evolve it, develop it, then there must also be an environment that can destroy it, that can stunt it, that can minimize or eliminate it completely. And when we're getting to manhood and womanhood without femininity and without masculinity, this is what we're talking about, the egregious act of slaying your manhood, slaying your womanhood. Okay, so when we are children, and we are just not, and I love children. When we are, if you can't tell, when we are in our primary operations within self, I watch children all the time. I'm an educator of children. I am a mother. And now grandmother. And when we get into these places, I watch them be innately themselves. They are a great study of life and being for us. How some things come naturally, like comparison, that brings about jealousy, how these things go off track, protection and ownership, love and unity and sharing, how all of these things come about. And one of the things that I've learned, or one of the things that I've seen, is that when we take what a child is, the other day I was at the pool with my daughter. I was teaching my 5-year-old how to swim. I was teaching her how to swim, and all the little children started to come towards me because I was teaching my daughter how to swim. They wanted to learn. And a lot of the other parents most of them were on their phones. Most of them didn't kind of want to get in the water. And some of them were just sitting on the sidelines with their feet in the water. And they wanted me to be in, they wanted me to play. When I was teaching my daughter, I'm very silly with her, but I'm also very clear and concise, and I give her drills and these things to do. And the children love it, right? Children love structure, they love fun, they love interaction, they love it. So here they come, about 5 of them. Show me, because I'm giving my daughter all these accolades. Good girl, boo-boo. Now you got to go underwater. So I'm teaching her first not to be afraid of the water. Then I'm teaching her how to be able to compose herself, meaning be able to hold her eyes, nose, and mouth in the water. And then we're moving into our body and how it works in the water. And then the movements of our bodies in order to propel forward. I'm taking the steps with her, and they're coming over and they're wanting to go through all the steps, right? And the little girls are saying to me, there's one little boy, what was his name? Travis, I think. The little girls right away wanted to impress me with their endurance, right? They wanted to look, I can go under. They wanted to work together. Can you count me? Can you count me? They wanted very much affirmation, all of them. But the way they went about it, very unique and specific. Little boy Travis, he was like 5 as well. And his biggest thing was, I'm so strong. That's how he came off. I'm so strong. I'm so powerful. He was like, I can go under for this. They went under. The girls were like, let's do 3 minutes. They were planning. I'm like, 3 seconds. I'll count to three while you go under. He's like, I can do 10. So when one of the girls did 10 seconds, he was like, I'm gonna do 11. He was just like, I know I can come from over there. Things I wasn't even proposing to him, right? But what he was doing was expressing to me his bravado, his strength, his power. He wanted to show me right up front at the beginning of this interaction, I want you to know how strong I am. I can do anything you're asking to the max. And I affirmed that and I reassured that for him. You are so powerful. Oh my gosh, you're so strong. Yes, you can do anything. And he really had me, his confidence at 5. I was really like, wow. And again, the girls, if one girl couldn't do it, maybe she couldn't go down as long, let's do it together. The ability to nurture and to unite and to come together and to create. I love it. Yeah, I'm a geek about this stuff and I go on forever, but I don't want to go the whole moment about it. I just wanted to show you that here we are. Here I am in the crux of childhood. These little people asking or showing in their learning what their strengths were. And in a moment like that, excuse me, I could have done one thing. Y'all, please go find your parents. Why are you over here? I would have murdered an opportunity to pour, to invest, to instill. I could have also been like, boy, you can't do that. You always talking about what you can do. You don't know what you can do. Murdered his confidence and his ability and his strength and the power as the way that he saw himself. Or with the girls, you didn't do it as much as she did. She did better than you. Murdered the sisterhood that was being demonstrated right before my eyes. I'm saying little girls who were saying, let's do it together. Let's try. I could have pit them against the power of us. With us is divine. We are one with creation. Ji and Yame, the power of one. And this law is saying, I will not take feminine energy and destroy it. I will not take masculine energy and destroy it. I told you from the moments that we did a couple of weeks ago, the myotic moments that we did a couple of weeks ago about robbery with violence, about how the Christians have a saying, will a man rob God? Will a woman rob God? And the church always says, no, 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 no. And again, this saying is mainly in a is mainly spoken about in terms of tithes and offering. Will you come in and get from the church and not give to the church is what they're saying. And I want to take it just a step farther with Ji and Yame. Because are you not of God? Are you, man, not of God? Are you, woman, not of God? Are you not one with creation? And when we take from one another, when we harm one another, when we break down one another, when we kill and destroy one another, are we not being harmful and aggressive and egregious towards creation? Are we not being harmful towards God? And when we hear that saying again, will a man rob God? I want us to take it. Will a man rob a man? Will a woman rob a woman? I said this before. Will a woman and a man, or a man and the community, rob the children? This is all the same. Will a man rob God? And when we take and we break femininity, there are a couple of things we can go through in this life that destroy feminine energy or destroy masculine energy. Being a single parent puts feminine energy in imbalance. It destroys it. You have to. So if my role is to be the nurturer and the developer, if I now have to abandon that role to primarily be the protector and the provider, if I'm now out front for whoever wanted because you won't get my babies, because you won't get my household, because you won't take our resources, because you won't destroy us, how can I also be the nurturer and the developer? How can I operate in both lanes at the same time? And vice versa for single fathers. I know single fathers. And I'm saying that this is a murderer of that feminine and masculine energy. One has to imbalance it. One has to be imbalanced, disproportionately present in the life. This is why I always, I've been a single mother the majority of raising my children, and I always fought for my femininity. I always fought because I understood that it was up for high stake. It was compromised. And I was seriously determined about, you may take my choices. You may take some of my resources. I'm talking about those that didn't do their part. You may have, but you will not take my divine femininity. This is who I am. I don't care if I have to stay up and there are witnesses on the line. I don't have to stay. Okay, if I got to stay up till 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, I will be up nurturing myself. I will be speaking and cleansing and growing my womb because I'm not giving it up. But it's very difficult. Incarceration, right? Being treated like an animal kills masculinity, kills femininity, distorts and dysfunctionalizes it. You are behaving like an animal instead of a man or a woman. It kills it. Poverty, dog eat dog, we talked about that before. Survival of the fittest. These things are not about balance. And femininity and masculinity are energies that are nurtured and sustained in balance. The war of the genders. If femininity and masculinity can only be sustained in balance, literally, they can only be sustained and developed in balance. I'm not saying that you cannot harness and hone into yourself. But it is affirmed and it is sustained and it is by this other, right? It is protected by masculine energy. It is nurtured by feminine energy, right? So if it can only be sustained by the other and we have this great deal of imbalance, any environment that creates imbalance destroys that. Poverty, oppression, racism, these things destroy the energy, the natural energy of your ability to protect, your desire to provide. Masculine energy, your ability to nurture, to be free-spirited, to be open, to be loving. When you come in contact with each other, especially young each others, and we put each other in places of competition or defense or alarm, right? We trick or we manipulate. We know that a female may be more likely to help, and you use that helping to hurt. She may be more likely to forgive, and you use that to manipulate. You are a murderer of womanhood. You are a murderer of femininity. She now can't trust you to open a door or pull out a chair. She doesn't know what your intentions are because she only has the ability to trust you as a protector or a provider. When you stop protecting and you aren't providing, she doesn't know how to see you and you become a threat. I'm talking about spiritually, innately. I'm not talking about what we've grown accustomed to. When you take a man, masculine energy, that wants to protect, that wants to create provision, that wants to foresee, you criticize and you critique and you demand and you unfairly exchange, you break and you murder. You become a murderer to masculinity, a murderer to manhood. his desire to give, his desire to provide for you. And now you have, it's not good enough, and you have all these demands, and you have all these you don't see, and you don't appreciate, and you have destroyed. So now he cannot see you. He does not even want you to make a plate for him. He don't know what you're doing with that. For what? He doesn't want you to come and nurture his day. He doesn't want you to put ease on his, he doesn't trust you to do that. Because he's wired to see you as a nurturer, as a healer, as a lover. And when he is not receiving love, but he's receiving criticism, when he's receiving demands, when he's receiving, what is it called? Inconsistency, deception, usury, exploitation. You have destroyed, you have murdered the ability and the desire. And then when they are children and they are coming to us, eager to express these beautiful traits of balance endowed by us by righteousness and divine spirit, energy, when they are eager to show us these sides of themselves. I've seen for Mother's Day, right? So my 5-year-old, she has an obsession with being a mother. I see this as a complete compliment because she only has one mother, and she has many mamas. She's mamas, but she has a mother. And so the fact that she loves it means that there's a connection she has with motherhood that is pure and divine. And her role or her positioning in it is appreciated by her at a young age. So she has 50 baby dolls. She's had an obsession with baby dolls since she was like 2, even before she could walk sometimes. I would say before 2, but definitely I'll give her 2 for when the obsession just kicked off. 50 baby dolls. Need to take a baby everywhere, naming them, dressing them. Listen, she was obsessed with baby dolls. She's obsessed with being a mom. She's always telling me names of her children. She's always this thing. Also, I'm a doula. So she knows I have lots of clients. She sees me with lots of clients, pregnant clients. So on Mother's Day, she puts a pillow in her under her shirt, balls up a pillowcase under her shirt to pretend to be pregnant. So that all day people had to say Happy Mother's Day to her when they say Happy Mother's Day to me whenever we went somewhere. It was hilarious. But if there were some people that I know saw it and they were just like, that's a little, you know what I'm saying? That's a little, that's a little. And I even saw a TikTok video actually that went viral, where a little girl was graduating from preschool, and she had to say what she wanted to be when she grew up, and she said she wanted to be pregnant. And her parents were mortified, and the crowd was like, oh, pregnant, oh my God, right? I'm not condoning childhood, teen pregnancy, anything to that nature. What I'm saying is that children very naturally emulate and replicate what their reality is. And they put value on what the people around them value. And they're connected to things that make them feel alive and make them feel important. We all are. But children definitely are, because they don't have the ignorance of what others will say or think. They don't have the, not at the earliest stages. They don't have the, They don't have the, Pandora's box has not been opened for them in a way that they see it in like, what is it that people want me to be? What is it that people want me to see? They have a genuineness. And so what they genuinely care about and what genuinely matters to them really comes out of them more frequently, which is why I love little people so much. But so my daughter, I saw that there were people that was like, she is walking around pregnant at 5, being pregnant at 5. But what I understood was that I could tell her, girl, take that out your, why would you being fast, you being grown, don't ever walk around like that. And I could kill something inside of her that says that this divine ability to grow and nurture life is something I aspire to. It's something I see as a great and grand ability. The desire to have people tell me, Happy Mother's Day puts me in the same place that people saying happy birthday, that this is some grand and beautiful opportunity and day. This is my day too. And I could take that from her with my ideas. And I'm not saying those would be my ideas, because they wouldn't. But for those that thought or looked a certain way. And listen, your girl's Aqua Gang, I could not care less, right? What people were thinking or saying. I thought it was hilarious. And I love that my daughter watches and absorbs my life in a way that she appreciates what she naturally can do, which she has the ability and the mission of, when it comes to not only giving life in the physical form, but giving life in all forms, in the forms of your words and your thoughts and your actions and your deeds. And so I could take that too by taking things like that from her. Murder femininity. I could, when my son is being emotional, and I have a 10-year-old who thinks he is so tough because he watches all this anime, so he thinks he can like flip up banisters and all these things. But every time, Mom, did you see, he comes in here, you see he's big into working out right now. So you're like, did you see my calisthenics and poses and moves that he's learned? And I could be like, boy, why get that out of here? I don't want you to, I could go there with him. And but the power that he sees in himself, his ability to be strong and endure, his ability to protect and defend what is his own life, his own, the lives of the people he cared about, his ability to create a structure for himself of what he wants to look like and who he wants to be. I could take that from him. I could take the weights. My son walks around with his hands wrapped up in ace bandages or whatever to pretend to be some type of fighter or ninja all the time. I mean, at the movie theater, in Target, just shadow boxing and push-ups all day off brick walls and things. I could take it from him. Give it. But I could also take his mind. He's also a big computer geek. He's into his tablet. He's into creating things with the different apps. And I could take the engineering part of it. I could take it. And I'm not saying, parents, that we don't modify, we don't create balance. And I'm not saying that. I'm saying that manhood and womanhood is murdered in childhood. And things that we think we are stopping them from could be stopping them from so much more. Things that we think we are taking from them. Listen, taking a child and sexually violating or exploiting them or even exposing them is murder and a hindrance to their manhood and their womanhood. So I'm talking to those of us that are around children and that see, and that's everyone, because everyone is, I don't have children. You're always around children, right? You go out into stores, you go out into the world, you're going to see children. And I'm saying we have a responsibility to their manhood and their womanhood. And then those of us that are parents take it a step further, and educators a step further. And then you have those of us that are full grown or far from children. But we have damages within our cell. We've been broken. We've been halted. We've been exploited. Up into this time frame, people are still playing with my femininity in my face. People are still playing with your masculinity in your face, right? To this day. And we're trying to figure out what it is that's keeping us sad. What it is that's keeping us confused. What it is that's keeping us restrained and held back from growth and becoming. And someone has your child's self buried somewhere in your past, in your history. because they took something from you that you need now. I have not slain. They took something from you, King, that you need now. And therefore, you still are at a place of loss in your masculinity and your femininity. I actually have, not metaphorically, not lesson wise with this law, I have a brother who was actually murdered. He was slain. And we've never found, there's all types of theories, and I know a lot of my family watches. Love and light to you all. From what I feel within myself and what I know, as far as no one has done any prison time, no one has been charged with murdering my baby brother. Those are the facts. And I believe that there has not been truth, and that we have not found who did this to him. I'm going to bring it all together. If I was able to talk to the person who shot my brother 5 times on that horrible night or morning, mid-morning of his life, of the end of his life, one of the things is, I've talked about this over and over and over and over and over again. Because people would say, well, if you knew who he was, what would you do? What would you say? What would you say? What would you do? And there's a lot of reasons why I think the Creator have not revealed that to us. And I am, I am in alignment with the Creator and the Creator's choices. But in my mind, when that question is asked of me, what would you say? What would you do? Why is it important? The number one thing I want my brother's murderer to know is who my brother was and what he took from me. I don't necessarily, if he wants to tell a story about what happened and of course I would want to know if he's remorseful, but more than anything, I want him to know, do you know what you took? He wasn't anybody. He wasn't just any 19-year-old kid on that sidewalk that night. And the reason that that is so important is because you took something very big from us that we needed today. We needed to see him at 27, or so we thought, at 26 or 27 years old. There are so many things. While I think about his life being gone, a lot of the dagger comes from what we can't do with him now. Follow me? When it comes to the metaphorical murder of your masculinity, kings, of your femininity, queens, what becomes so valuable in your healing and your growing and your developing and your becoming is that you were able to go back and reclaim what was seen as insignificant, what was seen or treated as replaceable or discardable. Your innocence, your lens, your for some of you, your virginity, your sacredness, your chastity, right? It's the ability to go back and find where the murder of your femininity began, where it took place, where your light love was taken from you, and your heavy burden of protection and defense was traded for it. When you, as a young boy, where was your masculinity murdered? You know, where, when you wanted to provide or you wanted to see your father provide, in poverty for you and couldn't. When you watched another powerful man in your family be arrested or have a vehicle repossessed or come home and see your mom's things on the street for an eviction, where was your masculinity murdered? There are a number of places, there are a number of circumstances, there are a number of experiences where these things happen. And in our healing and our becoming and our developing, it is just so important to go back into ourselves in a way to say, I need you to know what it is that you took. Because there are things that I need now: confidence, security, motivation, momentum. There are things that I need now: softness, intuition, discernment. There are things that I need now that were damaged by what was murdered then. There are circumstances and situations and experiences that I have now that are detrimental to my femininity, my trusting nature, my loving nature, my giving nature. Oh my God, this place is so destructive to that nature. The exploitation, the propaganda, the things that come about to let a man know that nothing is his. He cannot protect and he cannot defend. He cannot create and he cannot organize his family, his community. The things that come into place, the slaying of man and of woman. It is alive and vibrant in our communities, in our homes, and in our realities. And it is a law that our ancestors put clean. I have not slain man or woman. So when you proclaim this law at the end of your day, I have not slain man or woman, understand this law is not necessarily or exclusively saying whether or not you actually stabbed or killed or shot, poisoned someone, beat someone. This law is also saying, have you broken the nurturing, crossed the nurturing, loving line of femininity? Have you exploited and degraded and destroyed the powerful, protective, providing essence of masculinity with your words, with your thoughts, with your actions, with your posts, with your demeanor, with your interaction? Have you aided in the slaying of man and or woman? Are you doing away with feminine energy, masculine energy, being appreciated and celebrated in unison with one another? I have not slain with my words, with my thoughts, with my actions, or my deeds, man or woman. I have only given life. I have only given protection. I have only given love. I have only been a light. I hope that we're moving in that direction. I hope that you enjoyed this moment. I look forward to seeing you next week for another Meiotic Moment. I thank you all so much for a month of Meiotic Moment so far. And we are going to go far, y'all, because we got 42 weeks. And we only have 4 down. So we have a long journey, and I'm so super excited. Thank you for joining me for another Moment of Harmony this week. I want you to take really good care of yourself, for real, because it's hot out here. Take really good care of yourself. And on top of that, go on out your way and take really good care of someone else. I love you all so much. I'll see you next week for another Moment of Harmony. Peace.